Hello again, FA Nation. Justin Fensterman here, and it's Fantasy Football Stock Watch time. Let's talk about which players are on the rise and which others are falling when it comes to their fantasy football production potential. Let's hit the marketplace. First, for a few players trending up, let's start with Jalen Hurts. Much improved thus far from an accuracy standpoint as he's completed over 67% of his passes. Having a strong pass-catching weapon in A.J. Brown, along with other returning options from last year like Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith, gives him more to work with, and as John and Pemba said a bunch on FantasyAlarm.com, having better weapons would help Hurts grow as a quarterback. He's been throwing over 30 passes per game, and he's been still utilizing his speed and agility running the football himself. The Eagles have looked like contenders to start the year. The Jaguars have actually turned heads over the last couple of weeks. Granted, Justin Herbert was playing hurt, and the Colts the week before were missing receivers, but they let up over 800 passing yards thus far. Also on the rise, Jamaal Williams. Williams was already seeing action when DeAndre Swift was healthy. Now with Swift looking like he's going to miss time, it sets up nicely for Williams as the Lions play the Seahawks next, who have allowed the second most rushing yards in the NFL. They've also let up a lot of receptions to running backs, and the Lions could target him a bit more in this game. Williams should be in line for a similar workload in the 20-carry area and has averaged 4.4 yards per carry in both of his last two games. Even when Swift is fully healthy, Williams will still be involved as he's received double-digit carries in all three games he's played in. Final riser, Drake London. The first rookie wide receiver drafted off the board in the NFL draft has been targeted 25 times through three games, which accounts for over 30% of the team's targets this season, and he has now scored touchdowns in back-to-back weeks. He's received no fewer than 6 targets in any game and for now is prioritized over Kyle Pitts. We saw Deontay Johnson have a good amount of success against the Browns last week, and they've led up at least 200 passing yards in each week thus far, and they were facing quarterbacks such as Baker Mayfield, Joe Flacco, and Mitch Trubisky. Now for some players trending down, let's start with Darnell Mooney. Justin Fields just hasn't been throwing the football, and yes, the Bears have had to deal with a couple of weather issues, but if Fields isn't going to throw, then Mooney's ceiling will be lowered virtually every week. Was it encouraging seeing him get targeted more this week? A little bit, but he only caught 2 passes. Not only is Fields not throwing much, but he's completing just 51% of the passes he's actually throwing. The Bears have the Giants this week, but if Fields is going to throw fewer than 20 passes again, it makes it hard to rely on the matchup for his success. And even with David Montgomery hurt yesterday, the Bears still ran a ton. Mooney has 4 receptions through 3 games for 27 yards. Yikes. Also falling, DJ Moore. Moore is another receiver impacted by poor quarterback play as Baker Mayfield has completed just 52% of his passes this year. Christian McCaffrey being back will also shift targets around, but if Moore is going to continue getting targeted 6 times per game and Mayfield can't hit him, he'll need to score in order to maintain relevancy. He's out there for nearly every snap, but he hasn't been receiving the targets. The Panthers are getting ready to face the Cardinals, who have been weak against quarterbacks and have surrendered 7 passing touchdowns thus far. We'll see if Mayfield can take advantage of a softer matchup. Moore has 7 receptions through 3 games and 1 score. He has not exceeded 43 yards receiving in any matchup. Final faller, Hunter Henry. Henry and Jonnu Smith have been out there for a similar amount of snaps this year, and while Henry has the edge overall, Smith was targeted more than Henry in every game so far, and now Mac Jones is looking like he's going to be missing time with a high ankle sprain. Henry's caught 3 passes all year, and he hasn't been targeted more than once in both of his last 2 matchups. The Patriots have a lot of options they can turn to when it comes to throwing the football. Jacoby Myers when healthy, and Devontae Parker, just to name a couple of receivers. And even their running backs, especially Ramondre Stevenson, can catch passes too. Henry is getting boxed out by Smith, and he shouldn't be in anyone's starting lineup until they throw him more passes.